Hello and welcome to this week's midweek episode. We're kind of combining the power rankings and the preview all into one episode, so it's a bit easier to watch and make. I'm joined by Dom.
Hi Sam, you're right.
Yeah, we're starting with the power rankings. As you can see, the 10th to 8th, we've got Armani Little in 10th. What have been your thoughts of him in the last three games?
He's had a couple of injuries the last few games, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He had one a few games ago, and I don't know if it caught up with him again the weekend, but it's kind of limited what he can achieve in the last few games, unfortunately.
Yes, it's been frustrating. I think at the weekend it was a bit of, did you see his injury? It's a bit one of those impact ones. He went in a bit late and he fell a bit awkwardly.
No, I didn't see the injury. It suddenly just happened before me. No, I must have been chatting too much or something.
Yeah. I was hoping it wasn't too much of like a impact one. It didn't look too bad, but he kind of got up and stumbled a bit. I was like, oh, he's gone off. And then he carried on and then came back out and then he was gone again. But was that a bit tactical? I don't know. Was it a bit like as we brought Ali Omar on?
I think he probably thought it's worth a go and he just put him out, see if he would last. But 2 minutes, no man was on, wasn't he? So it was hardly worth coming out again. It's a shame for Armani. He's had a bit of an in and out time recently.
Yeah.
He still contributed, but it's been a little bit frustrating, hasn't it?
Yeah, so that's him in 10th. Obviously, as we've done many times, it goes on the last three games. Dan Martin, another injured player, has only been in one of the last three. Is that correct? He got injured in the first of the three.
Yeah, he missed Wealdstone, didn't he?
Yeah. So basically, this is just off
the last two.
50 minutes. Obviously, this is the public vote. Let's say we voted in the top. He knows a very good player, but it's the last three games. But yeah, it was good in that game. We really missed him.
Yeah, we have just missed a bit of energy left wing. Lynn did all right. Left wing, are we moving on to him next? Wasn't it?
Yeah, Stephen Boyd in 8th. He hadn't been in the top 10 for a little bit.
So he did okay on the left. He just had to keep cutting in all the time as a right footer. So it gives a lot of width.
It's weird with one. Like I'd never come back from a game going, apart from last Saturday, I thought he played really well. I never come back from a game and go, oh, he just didn't play well. It's almost like, oh, we didn't get on the ball much. I almost feel like, I don't know if it's just because we're more based one side, but he doesn't really do much wrong. I think at times I just want him to get the ball and take the game by the scruff of the neck a bit more.
Yeah, he's not the strongest of players, I don't think. If you get tight with him, I don't think he can push you away. And he's not great at playing with his back to the goal either. So if you push him close, I think he's the sort of guy who wants to get it with a good run at goal and have a shot.
Is it an improvement on O'Connell?
He's a different type of player. I think Wern wants to get more centrally and have a shot, whereas O'Connell was a winger. And he
I feel like he has the ability, both of them have ability, but I feel like Superman has a bit more back. When I first saw him in the first game, I was like, hey, he's got shades of Whitfield, he's going to be really good. And it's not that he hasn't exactly been bad, I just feel like we haven't seen the best of him yet. Where Duke McKenna
it's been a bit disappointing, I think. Gary Johnson would have expected him to bag a few goals. He got one. He got one, but we've needed more goals from midfield, haven't we? Because not getting any from strikers. So the fact that he's only hit one, it's not been a major disappointment, but he just hasn't quite. He hasn't
got the numbers that he would have wanted. Yeah, but I think it's experience. It's first proper time away from Sunderland. He's only had a few.
It's coming from the under 23, Sam. As well. It's different kind of football.
Exactly.
Keep saying it, don't we?
Yeah, but he's definitely got a lot of ability there. Now going into the middle bit, which will be on your screen now. 7th, we've got Joe Lewis, obviously red carded the weekend, which is probably why he's tumbled down a bit. I think it was a red. In this, it's frustrating.
We'll not go over this too much.
Yeah, because we've been over it. But
I mean, he built up enough credit from previous games, and he's still getting it.
He's been brilliant. Like it just happens. It's a problem when you're a defender.
It's something for him to learn from because he does like to get tight. He's an aggressive player, and I wouldn't want to take that out of his game.
No,
he wants to get tight, push up. This guy just caught him, didn't he? Just turned it around the corner, had to pull him back.
The frustrating thing is, I feel like he would have recovered even without sort of pulling him back. He would have recovered, but as you say, we forget how young Joe Lewis is, and he'll bounce back. And then next, Lemon Evans. This, by the way, for viewers, 4th to 6th was so close, and literally had to sort of split them. So 6th place, Lemon Evans.
He was lively, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, he was the only player that looked like scoring for us.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't have a great game, but he had a couple of half chances. He's the only one who got on the ball in the final third, and you think, right, he might make something happen.
He had a very good header save.
Even before the red card, it looked a nailed on 0-0 draw, didn't it?
Yeah,
there wasn't much space around. He was
they were here
trying to find something.
Yeah, and I think that's what like limits them Ivans at the end of the day, is that he needs that kind of space, and it's frustrating, especially when we're the home team and he can't get on the ball and do magic. And if the players aren't making runs for him, he also suffers.
Like in my notes, I said not to be a down on Danny Wright, but he just, without anybody of any pace up front, there's just not much space being created behind for the midfielders.
Yeah. I agree.
It's just too easy for the other defence,
especially
to push up.
If you look at the size of the Bromley defenders, they were just winning every sort of battle. You can't really use Danny Wright.
Land of the Giants.
Especially when Joe Felix came on to mark one from the corner.
One of the rare highlights of the second half.
That was Joe Felix. Yeah, and Bromley was so bad they couldn't even find that defender on the day. They're that bad.
Like when you try and push past a nightclub bouncer, Sam, and he just edges you away. I expect.
They needed like a step ladder to get up to it.
That's it. Yeah.
Next was Dean Maxey. Solid, very solid. I mean, he loved the battle. That triple tackle he did on Saturday was absolutely brilliant.
He did. He was happy. He sat in. It's probably helped him a bit because he's not got much pace that he could. We generally sat back as a team, didn't we?
He has. Since he's gone left back, I don't feel like he's been done for pace. If that makes sense. I don't feel like he struggled there at all with that.
Well, there was one moment where the guy thought, "I'll just nip it past him," but Moxley stepped
that's
in
brilliant.
front of the ball and just shielded it and just said, "No, you're not going anywhere. I've got too much experience to be done like that." And that just epitomised what he's all about, really, doesn't it?
And then in fourth, Ben Winter, man of the match. Torquay playing man of the match. I always say Ben Winter's you know what he's doing, but he was like, especially in centre back as well, like the tackles he's put in, and when Lewis went off, he took responsibility. You know, Ben Winter, he's quite young as well. Like he took responsibility. He went, "No, Chory, Johnson, you come in," and when Markham, you come there. He took responsibility. He was a leader of the back line.
We started at 3, I think, didn't we? So he went to a 4. He changed partners, but he's just really impressive. I think he just stood his ground and didn't think stupid.
Got a time down to a deal, honestly, because he's Football League standard. So
I don't suppose he wants to go anywhere else, but we've got to make sure we've, show him, reward him for being such a great player for us.
Still played every minute as well. Still played every minute.
Make sure he sticks around. Players like that who are going to play every week, fit and strong, mentally tough. That's what we need, isn't it?
Yes. So going into the top 3, so we've got Duke Mckenna, who's just the live wire. He as we've said before, he don't quite have physicality, because of his sort of height, but he's so determined. He's so good on the ball.
Probably doesn't quite deserve a 3rd place this week. No. I don't think.
I would swap them two around a bit.
I think Gary Johnson was getting a bit fed up with him the first 20 minutes, so because he kept wanting to get the ball and taking a little bit too long to just decide what he wanted to do. He wanted to play a trick. Get it round the defender and do something with it all the time rather than just keep it simple.
Great. And it's that decision making, which will happen. It's
just keep calm. You don't have to be frenetic all the time. Just keep calm and play a simple ball when it comes to you. And it's also just where it's his best position. I think that
is the problem.
I really couldn't tell you.
I'd still say right wing, but
he's a cracking little player, but he doesn't look like a winger really. But I don't know if he's behind the strikers. I'm not sure where he sits, but you want him in the team at the moment because he's well worth a place with that energy. So
definitely. And then second, I think it's the highest he's been since we started that. Tom Lapsey in second place.
He's yo-yoed up, isn't he? I think was he 10th last week?
What a player! What a player!
My man of the match on Saturday.
Yeah, he was superb. He did get cynically fouled 3 times without the opposition being booked as well. That one run where he kept going and going and going. It's because sometimes I worry about whether he's actually amazing on the ball, but he can be really tricky to get the ball off.
It was like a scene from Frodo in Lord of the Rings, wasn't it? He just kept on going. He had all these big monsters started enlarging on him. I'll get past one, and then another roar came from the side and took him out. He was never going to get past all 5, was he?
No, I love him.
I'm going to keep on going. There's nobody with him at all, was there? But that just gets the crowd on side. That's what we're all about.
Exactly. That's why the Omar had the crowd on his side when he came on and he's winning the ball and he's taking it. He beat 2 men on the left hand side.
a bit of something, a bit of a fuse. It needed something to liven up the afternoon because it did peter out. I mean, as I said, it just felt like a 0-0. They could have been there till midnight. It just felt like neither team would like scoring, did they? So.
No, and so number one, when you said last week, it's always a worry on your keeper's your most informed player. What's it? Well, it's happened again. He was, but that's probably the most complete Sean McDonald performance I've seen. The amount of crosses, very honest, he's not the tallest keeper in the world. The amount of crosses that come out, he's stuck to.
He also pushed a couple of crosses away. I mean, you can't always catch them.
Exactly. But that save at the end as well, they've hit that with some power and he hasn't seen that. It's not the clearest view and he's stuck a hand out like that. He's just, when we got McDonald back, it was like, he's number 2 last season. We'll be good enough. Now it's like, oh God, he's way too good for us. He's showing levels better for me. He's like consistent for a season. Coughlin never did it for a season with us. He did it for the last 2 months of a season. So it is a worry.
Hands on the table. When he first came back, people were getting a bit excitable. I thought, just calm down. Give him a chance to prove himself.
It's just a different keeper.
Like he was going to be the best thing since brown bread, but he has become the best thing. Yeah. He's had a brilliant season, and he'll get a lot of votes for player of the season.
Yeah, I think it's between 3 for me, and he might just edge it.
He might do. He's a very popular player, and people love playing with him. I think, and we love seeing the.
But I look at these 2 clubs, and I look at their keepers, and I look at sort of. And I think, well, he could, like Alex Bass on loan, on loan. He's gone on loan at Bradford from Portsmouth. Great start. But then, he's had a couple of dodgy games, he was doing the stuff that we got used to because he hadn't played that game of football. He come run out of his area at the weekend, 96 minutes, a point. Yeah. Come running to the edge of his the side of the box, brought the man down, they've lost the game. So those sort of clubs will want a McDonald.
That's the tightrope you're on as a keeper, though. You can have a great game and then one 10-second burst of stupidity and you're out. And Coughlin's had a couple of moments and he can get back in the squad.
Where McDonald's had those moments at Torquay already, so he's learnt from that because he's played over 100 games. So I don't think Bass probably has, and then Coughlin didn't probably. I don't know how many he played for us left, but
Cole played about 50 or 60.
Exactly. Himself. So McDonald's got that under his belt. So we need to be really careful we don't lose him next season.
We don't want to lose him, and the trouble is he's a Geordie lad, so. The temptation to go back near at home could be a factor, but we just got to show, a bit like Ben Winter, I'm sure Gary will be whispering in his ear.
Inspiration as well.
Already. Yeah, trying to get him signed on for next season. Him and Winter would be 2 of the first players I'd be after. Just make sure you pin him down. And
this and Lewis as well, but Lewis I feel is Lewis will go.
Yeah, I think Gary could whisper as many sweet nothings as possible, but he's going to have a few good offers to think about.
So I've got Ali Omar. It's fine. We didn't concede when Ali came on.
Oh, bless him. He had a decent.
He's improved a lot. Downs has really been working on him. But that's our power rankings before we move on. Before I could talk about Ali Omar for half an hour.
You could do. I said he had one moment where he got caught.
He got caught. That's going to happen. There's one week you lost the battle. Of course, it's going to happen. I wouldn't take him to the first team, but I'll take him to squad now. Squad player. That's you got to be
careful with squad players, I think, because squad players can easily start playing 20-30 games.
We found that this season. We found that this season. So we've got too many squad players. So that's the power rankings part. On to the opposition for this weekend. We are away to Kings Lynn. As you reminded me, because I said Halifax when we started before. For some reason, that in my mind. But Kings Lynn, what's your info on them?
It's a long journey, isn't it, for the Yellow Army on Saturday?
Yeah. And their owner's a bit of an interesting UKIP.
Stephen Cleve comes to mind, doesn't he, whenever you think about Kings Lynn? I mean, what did he recently try and get the crowd to pay for everything? They charged. It was for a not a suspension, was it? It was for players.
Because they got booked. Yeah. And then charging about $5,000 for a ticket per game, and then kind of just the general sort of attitude of, that supporter got banned or something, and then it was leaking all his information online and.
Yeah. I mean, he did the commentary last season. Do you remember?
I remember that. Yeah, McDonald, man of the match.
That was one of the dullest games of last season. But he turned up late for the commentary and then wittered on, didn't he?
He's like, for me, it reminds me of like 3 or 4 Only Fools and Horses characters in one. You've got Boyce in him, you've got Del Boy in him, but and he's an owner, and they're probably going down, or they are going down this season.
Well, they're clearly in the way down the relegation places, but they do fight a little bit. I mean, they played Solihull last Saturday, and only they drew 2-2, but they were winning until the last minute, I think. So
yeah, it was Sinclair's debut when we played at home, 2-0 win.
They didn't show a lot that day, from what I remember.
No, and we weren't at our most confident stage, but we played well enough. But
looking at the tactics, they play 4 at the back, 2 deep lying midfielders, and then 2 wingers and a striker. Yeah. So it looks like they sit quite deep. So they'll be looking to defend. So it'll be up to us to push forward as usual.
Yeah, no, we have to win it. It'd be nice because we've drawn 4 games, and then if we win that, we're on an unbeaten streak still. But if we lose that,
it's a really good unbeaten streak, but. The thing about drawing games doesn't get you up the table, does it?
No, we really need to win next week. Just for morale a bit, because
I think so. Yeah. Any wins will do now when it gets teams going. I think we'll have some bigger games coming up March, April when we're playing
got
bigger
County,
teams.
Stockport, Chesterfield. It's all good fun. That's all competitive now.
So that will spice up the games. I think it's hard to spice up a games like Kings Lynn. No disrespect to them, but they're they're non-league South, National League South fodder, aren't they?
Yeah.
Maybe next season. So.
Yeah. What's your prediction? I'll ask you this week.
You were brave going 2-2 last week. I don't think they'd have scored that many goals in about 3 hours.
I'm going 1-0 Torquay. We're getting our first away clean sheet, and there's not many goals happening right now.
I'll go 2-0 to Torquay. Then I'll get early goal, bit of nerves, and then score a late one.
Yeah, sounds good.
That seems to be up to the midfielders to grab a goal, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, there we are.
Or maybe Ali will score.
No, Ali will come off the bench. Imagine if Ali Omar doesn't score winner to a game this season, it would be a disappointing season.
Has he scored this season? Don't think he has.
I think he hit the bar, didn't he, at Altrincham?
He has a couple of chances to throw himself about a bit, won't he?
Yeah, but that's all I want. That's all I want.
Just get us a win.
Yeah. Cheers for joining me, Dom. I hope you win. We need to tell if you've got any recommendations what we call this, apart from what did I say? Power preview. So we've got power rankings and preview, but we need something better to call it. But
not Power Rangers.
But yeah, thanks for watching this episode. Thanks for the comments we've got recently. I must say that I was reading through some of them today, especially on the Wilson episodes. I appreciate them. They all help and it's all fun. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.